I'm Nicholas Aiden, founder of Warriors Memories Foundation, and we're out here at Resthaven Cemetery in Lubbock, Texas for episode 2 of The Forgotten. So as you can see, the grounds here are very nice, but we're going to see what the veterans' gravestones actually look like. But before we do that, we're going to see what the flagpole looks like. So the flagpole area looks really nice, but it's a little rusted on the bottom area. And they're only flying an American flag. We recommend a Texas flag, but not everyone wants to fly a Texas flag. So we're not going to do the whole entire cemetery since there is 37,000 people buried here and an estimate of 6,000 veterans buried here. So we're only going to be doing a section of the cemetery. So we found our first veteran, William. He was in World War I and he was in the U.S. Army. So this is actually an older type of grave marker from the VA, and they didn't have a protective coating back then. So all this patina here, this is because they didn't put the protective coating on there because there was no protective coating. And as you can see, this is starting to sink, and then this corner is starting to rise. So eventually over time what's going to happen is this is going to just completely go in the ground, and then this part's going to start rising, so it's going to be like kind of sideways in the ground. So we found another veteran's grave. This is a very old style one, and as you can see from all the veterans' graves that we've been looking at, that no one's really trying to make an effort into making sure that these are clean or even doing anything with them. Like the one that I just saw was just covered with the prairie dog hole. And it's just sad. Like, imagine if you went to a pristine state cemetery and you saw something like this, you'd be pretty shocked, right? Well, this is really the reality of what's happening in these community cemeteries. They're just being forgotten. So we found our next veteran, Felix. He was in the U.S. Army. So this is like kind of the same situation as our last one, but these two actually didn't have any protective coating. And also, the VA used to let you get a separate marker like this for your spouse, but now they don't pay for that, so you have to buy your own. So this is actually one of the newer style grave markers, and it's in pretty good condition, but what drives like us insane is how people the maintenance people, they just mow over these markers, and they just let all these grass clippings they just leave them there, and eventually they'll just pile up, and people will just not even know that there's a veteran there. So we found another veteran, Captain Sands. He was a flight surgeon in the U.S. Air Force, and this is a very good example of what's going to happen to most of the veterans here after 50 or 60 years. Some not even like that, like this one probably like 5 more years if nobody comes out and fixes it. This dirt is just gonna keep sloping over it, and then this grass is just gonna grow over it, and then nobody will even know. And in all reality, this veteran probably doesn't even have any next of kin, so there'll be no one to come out here and even dig up his grave at all. So I went down a couple of graves, and we found this grave that we don't know if they're a veteran or not, but I wanted to tell you that this is what's going to happen to that grave marker right there in like 5 to 10 years if nobody comes out and fixes it. And like this is going to be hard to dig up because it's probably already buried like at least 2 inches in the ground, and then just like in probably not even a year, all this grass is just going to grow over it, and then nobody will even know that there's a veteran there. So we found our next veteran. His name is Billy. He was in the U.S. Army, and the war he fought was World War II. This is actually a newer version, so the protective coating was on it, but the Texas sun beat away on it, and now it's gone. It actually ruined the finishing on the marker. So the only way to make this look brand new, other than getting a new marker entirely, is to actually just restore it. So we'd have to put on new finishing and then a new protective coat. So as we were walking by, we found this veteran's grave that is completely covered by a prairie dog hole. And I could tell that this is a veteran because I dug it up a little bit, and as you can see from the design and the edge of it, it is like a veteran's marker. And this is just sad. He was just buried and forgotten. So we drove down a little bit and we found this section in the cemetery that was just upright markers, and we found this upright granite marker from the VA, the veteran is James. He was in the U.S. Navy and the U.S. Air Force, and as you can see the staining here, it's not that bad right now, but if we wait like a couple more years, this will turn completely pitch black, and then like it'll be hard to tell the name because it'll go down to where the name is, and then it'll just be completely black, and then no one will even know this guy's name, and then he'll just be completely forgotten. So we found this marker that's just sitting here, and we're thinking that Bob is laid to rest right over here because this is a family plot, and hopefully that this is a scheduled time that they're going to put this in, but if not, I really hope that this isn't just left here. So we're going to hopefully talk to the cemetery and get them to put this in, or let us know if it's scheduled. So we found our next veteran, John Haynes. He was in the U.S. Marine Corps, and he served in World War II. And as you can see, this veteran's marker is very tarnished, but and he died in 1985, and then his spouse died in 2017, and as you can see, this one is not that tarnished, but in another 30 years, you'll as you can see, the clear coating is already, like, there's signs that the clear coating is already coming off this gray right here. In another 30 years, it's probably going to be just like her spouse's. So my overall rating for this cemetery is going to be a 4 out of 10 because the grounds, they look really nice and they have these nice monuments, but the grave markers, they just don't look that good, and they're being buried and covered in, like that one I was showing you, the one that was covered with that prairie dog hole. So that's why this is going to be a 4, and honestly, I'd rather have a nice looking marker and not nice looking grounds, because what's the point of coming out to a cemetery if you can't even see whose marker that you're trying to look at? Like, if you're coming out to just look at the grounds, that would make sense. I would come out to a cemetery to actually look at our fallen heroes. So that's it for episode 2 of The Forgotten. Keep your eye out for episode 3. It's coming soon.